but I think we're going to have to change the title.
Oh dear.
Well, 60. It's going to have to be 63 beats 47. I'm a little concerned about, you know what, the injury.
Right.
I'm calling it the injury. Okay. Remember I told you about the 4 pillars of recovery.
You told
Remember
us.
elliptical. We talked about that before. Elliptical ice, diclofenic, and swimming.
Yeah.
Well, the 4 pillars are starting to crumble.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. It's not. Yeah, it's a bit frustrating to be honest, Malc. It's been, my gosh, it's been over a month, and I'm not a whine. Like I shouldn't whine. I'm not whining, but it's sort of like we've hit a bit of a plateau.
Yeah.
On the injury, and
Right.
so I know now you've got me on a regime, a session which I'm calling the elliptomil.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll explain that, shall I, to the audience? The
Go on.
elliptomil.
Go on.
Yeah. So what it is, it's a 20 minutes or 40 minutes on the elliptical. Then I leap across onto not a moving treadmill, but onto the treadmill, right? And do say another 20 minutes.
Okay.
So it's a combination of elliptical and treadmill, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to use that to ease back in
Yes.
to the running side. Is that maybe just a comment from you as to our plan here?
That's right.
The elliptomil.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
If you've got the luxury of doing it, then do it. You know, and if you're in a commercial gym, then you can do that. You can switch between pieces of equipment. So yeah, you've been doing that so we have a bias towards the elliptical and a small amount of running, and that's because 20 minutes is about the right amount of time to test something out where you're not going to do any lasting damage, but you get enough of a test to see, do you have pain or not? Are you running okay or not?
Exactly.
So now we're at a point where we're looking at changing it up.
Well, and the reason, if I may jump
Yeah.
in, is this morning Malc put some, what do you call those? Transponders, electrodes, what do you call those things?
Sensors.
Sensors, yes,
Yeah.
that's probably better than electrodes, right? A couple of sensors. And what he did, we measured certain parameters. Maybe again, you could touch on what we measured.
Yeah, this morning you ran 10 minutes as a test at the end of our regular workout. And in the 10 minutes we measured left side and we measure right side independently. And we've measured some key parameters. So the force that you put in the ground and get back out of the ground, the contact time with the ground, the impact, shock or acceleration that each side feels, and then some other basic background parameters as well, like cadence. And then we look at the asymmetry difference between the left and the right side. And that's sort of key on an injury like this, because we can then judge, is Martin able to use his right side as well as his left, and if not, what is the difference?
Yeah, what's the issue, right?
So
even though when I'm running, I honestly don't feel I'm favouring either side.
Yeah.
I do notice a little bit of a this pain on the right, but I really don't feel like I'm favouring it to protect it. So this is where the data collection really was actually showing a pretty interesting outcome.
It did, right? Because I mean, when you run on the treadmill, as you did then, you didn't feel anything.
Well, I didn't. No, I did not. Mentally, I did not feel like I was favouring one side. I did notice a little. I'll say it again. A little kind of background pain around the ankle, but it certainly didn't. I certainly wasn't hobbling to try and protect it.
Right. Yeah.
But then the truth is in the numbers, isn't it?
Yeah. And then when I look at today's data, I think also go back, because we've got quite an inventory of data from you for the last year.
Yes.
So I'm able to go back and look at periods where you were definitely not injured, and then we have like a profile of you at your best, and then I can compare.
Sort of put it over that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's tell the folks what happened.
Oh well, basically, I mean, your high level numbers in terms of left-right difference are actually quite similar, and as good as those runs from the past where you were fine. But one number is popping out, and that is the ground contact time difference between the left.
Ground contact time, right? Yeah, interesting.
Right. Yeah, so essentially, and it's quite common with people having injuries on one side like this, like basically the side that has received the trauma or the injury doesn't want to get off the ground as fast.
Yeah.
So that's the case with you, is that your left-hand side, your ground
the
contact
good side,
time,
let's call it the good side.
The good side. That ground contact time is perfectly normal for you, given your profile.
But the bad side,
the right side, it's long. It's like
it's a little,
significantly
longer, isn't it? You know, I mean, it's yeah. So with that data now, you've come up with you've made some evaluation of it.
Yes, and basically the high level is that you are in a position where you're not heavily injured. I mean, that's not a problem at all. You are clearly able to run 20 minutes, no sweat, and the data backs that up, that you're not way over on any kind of extreme. So you're just in an area where you're almost fully recovered, but not quite.
It's like a limbo spot, isn't it? It's not injured, it's not fully fit. It's this sort of tricky, where I think a lot of runners are, you know, a lot of the time.
Yes.
Do I, don't I, you know, kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to move forward with giving you more running.
You're going to push me?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit,
yeah.
A little bit,
under control. And then we measure what's happening.
Okay.
And we're looking for those differences, left-right differences, to start balancing out.
To come together.
So we're going to use running as a way of stimulating faster recovery. Yeah.
Excellent. So next week again, you want me to use the elliptomil again?
We'll do the same. Yeah.
Can you say that?
Elliptomil.
Elliptomil. And but a little less on the ellipto and more on the mil. Correct?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready.
Cool.
I'm ready. So now I'd kind of like to go to my favourite part of the show, which is Ask Eminem.
Yeah.
Always good for some probing questions from our viewers.
Yeah.
And so today, you like this one? Today we have a question from Stephanie in Sudbury, Ontario.
Cool. Yeah.
And she says, Martin and Malc very much enjoy the show. I'm a big fan of the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
But I was shocked to hear about the doping scandal in curling.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't the only one, Stephanie. I would say it rocked the curling world.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Rocked?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rocked. Yes.
Yeah, good. Okay, so, but her question, very to the point. Martin, have you ever taken performance-enhancing drugs? So I want to say categorically, I have never taken performance-enhancing drugs. I'm going to say that again. I have never taken performance-enhancing drugs. But it really leads to a very good question.
How many people have said that on camera and then they came out and
I don't want to go there. No, I'm not going to where I think you want to go. I'm not going there. But what I'm going to ask you is, the question is, in my mind, in a sense, you know, what are these drugs? And what I'm going to say is, every morning I take magnesium, a fish oil tablet, and a baby aspirin, and I love coffee, which is caffeine. So my question to you is, if an agent from the World Drug Authority knocked on your door right now, right, and said, I want to test Martin for performance-enhancing drugs, of those things that I take, are any of those deemed to be, and I'm just a layman, I don't know, deemed to be performance-enhancing drugs?
No.
Okay,
there you go. No.
Thank heavens for that. Okay, so that's good. But it leads to actually sort of the final part of the question is to you, I think, mainly. In the world of marathon running, generally, what's the story with this whole issue of drug taking, and also from the point of view of monitoring? Maybe just a broad brush. We're not obviously looking for, name names. We're not interested. But I mean, you've been in the world of elite sport.
I've dipped into that world.
And if you don't mind, I think it would be interesting to our viewers.
Yes. So I can talk from two different perspectives. From having been in world elite level competition for 14 years and drug tested through those 14 years myself as an athlete, and then obviously where I've kind of dipped into being hands-on with athletes who are at the top level in world running and seeing what they have to deal with. Basically, well, the first thing to say is that the kind of drugs you were talking about are just, a lot of them they're just like over-the-counter things you can just go and get from a pharmacy.
Okay, so there would be no issue?
Generally no issue with that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, like cough syrup, you sometimes hear, I took cough syrup,
Okay, so there is...
sorry, did I mention one?
It depends.
Whoops.
So there are a few things, like, asthma medications or maybe flu medications you have to be careful with.
Okay.
So basically the way it goes is, essentially no one cares with that stuff unless you're at an elite level, where you're actually getting drug tested.
Hang on. So they don't...
Oh, sorry, yeah. Okay, yeah, cool.
Okay, carry on.
And then in theory, you should have people looking after you as an athlete. You should have coaches, and you should have some kind of manager or agent, whatever.
Yeah, who basically tells
So then the responsibility sort of partly is on you, but also on them to make sure these things happen correctly. So there is a list so the World Anti-Doping Association, WADA, they make a list. So you can go online. It's updated every single year because new drugs come out. So you can go there any time, and it's the athlete's responsibility to make sure
they don't
cross the line of that list. So it should be pretty cut and dried in any given season what is banned and what isn't.
Okay.
And then essentially the way it works in practical reality is that everybody trains whatever they train in their country, and then the country has controls within it.
Okay.
So they should be maintaining drug testing through the year within the country. Then when people go to race abroad, they go to a championship, whatever it is, then there's external drug testing. So organisers of major races then have to have drug testing policies in there, that people who turn up to the race, they're going to be drug tested. When there's a major championships, the same kind of thing as drug testing policy. And so it's not easy for the world authority to control what happens in every country. No. That's really hard. But the idea is, representatives from each country come together regularly and make an agreement that they're going to stick to anti-doping policy.
Yeah. But
then the question is, do they really? When they go back to their country, does that really happen?
You just don't know, right, Malc? It's such a tough question. It's
tricky.
It's you think it would change. Hopefully, it's been cleaned up in a number of sports. But I think it's a never-ending. In a way, it's a never-ending battle because, and I'll be kind of blunt about this, the rewards are too great, right?
Yeah.
Let's be clear. I mean, the pressure, and I'll be again very clear where I stand on the Olympics. The pressure on these athletes to perform, to come back with the medals. Yeah. I mean, you never hear about somebody who came 7th.
No.
Really, no. And so again, for me, I struggle a little bit with the whole Olympics ethos. It's try your best and get through. And I know, we can talk about this for another, 2 hours. But it's a shame that athletes can't go and perform to their potential, their real potential. And so that's maybe that's a little bit idealistic, I guess, but that's the way it is. So me, Malc, I am not interested.
Yes.
Okay, I am not interested. We'll just do it the old-fashioned way, right? With sweat and effort. Fair enough. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, that's super. Thanks a lot.